out to all of my Leos out there. So please make sure to get the book at Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box below as usual. If you'd like to contact me for a personal reading, my email address as well as the prices are in the description box below. Let me turn off this light actually. I always forget about the light. But anyway, it is what it is. So let's get on to your reading, Leos. Let's see what y'all got. I'm still using my Halloween tarot because it's October. So you know what that means, Halloween. Halloween and Christmas are my two favorite holidays. Pretty much. You know what I mean? You know, you can pretty much go as anyone that you want to go as. You know, so let's get into it. So the cards that I come up with for Leos are the Strength, the Ten of Bats, the Death card, Three of Bats. The terminology is a little bit different, but when you start to understand it, it's the same. Nine of Pumpkins, Eight of Ghosts, Ace of Bats, Eight of Imps, Knight of Ghosts, King of Ghosts, the Emperor, Chariot, the Queen of Imps, Ace of Pumpkins, and last but not least, the Fool card. Interesting. Okay. So the Strength, Ten of Bats, the Death card. For my Leos, Strength does represent the Leo, right? It's the major arcana. Leo and, the Strength and the Sun both represent Leo. So, some sort of relationship that could have happened for you, Leos, is done. This person may have come at you a little bit too much with the extra, performance. The acting snobby, coming off, real like, they're better than you and they have nothing to show for it, but on the inside you knew that these people are essentially full of it, right? So you may have been getting, some of you Leos may have been getting to know someone and they had to perform, right? They had to show up, they had to put on this show. And the Death card, this represents how it is that a lot of you are like, that got old really quickly. So the three of Bats now. The Three of Bats now, right, is about how it is that they lost their shot because they were putting on a show. They were too interested in putting on a performance, being fake. Showing up with the, the extra, whatever, extra pizzazz, the razzle dazzle, you already know, the extra, I have to perform and show off and kind of like put on this performance, this Golden Globe performance. And the Nine of Pumpkins is about how a lot of you Leos are like, okay, I have too much going on. I don't really care. You look like a goofy individual and I'm done with you. This is what you're saying to them. And so now my Leos, y'all have decided obviously to leave. A lot of you, right? I knew that was the situation during the Death card, but this person was acting as if like I said, they were just, those types of real fake people put on, I don't know, like, those types of people who are real disrespectful, you know what I mean? And they put on this pizzazz, you know what I mean? Like they got it and they thing and at the same, and they put on this extra and they stunt and it's like, you ain't got anything. And you look goofy trying to perform. That's how they was moving. So, and you Leos realized that they wasn't really up to anything substantial, so you chose to leave. The Ace of Bats, you're glad that you found this person out to be essentially for who they are, which is a fraud, very early or fairly early in a relationship before a lot of you Leos end up maybe being with this person a year, 2 years, 3 years. You may have known this person for a few years, but you never necessarily knew how they were up close and personal. This doesn't even necessarily have to mean that you may have known this person for a few years. You could have essentially known this person for a few months, you know what I mean, before you actually decided to try to, you know, one step after the other, morph this newfound relationship or into something else, right? Or something that was old into something else where there's romance involved. Either way it goes, you Leos have decided to not be with this person anymore. So the Knight of Ghosts is about like you moving forward with this, not relationship, but you're moving on, right? You're moving forward. You're like, this person is fake. The eight of Imps, right, which is the card before that. Actually, I didn't address this. The Eight of Imps is about like how, you know, you know what I mean, you may have even been talking to your friends about like what had happened, and some of you Leos may have been like, I can't believe this person did all this showboating and tomfoolery to really not actually have anything. So the Knight of Ghosts and the King of Ghosts represents how it is that these animals are crazy. Anyway, so the Knight of Ghosts and the King of Ghosts represents how it is that the King of Ghosts is not only just about you moving on, which is what the Knight of Ghosts represent, but the King of Ghosts is like you still being open, right? Not necessarily being too hurt and stuff like this, because you didn't really be in a relationship with this person for a very long time. But still, what I would say, this cat, get down, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. There you go. What I suggest, come here, yo. But since you want to be in front of the camera, there you go. Go on, get out of here. Go on, girl. All right. She's just staying there looking at me. All right, so what I would suggest you Leos, right? And Leo is a cat. Look at that. But what I would suggest you do is still take some time to really get over this person, because you don't want to connect with someone then you end up thinking that the other person is fake, right? Even though it is something to watch out for. So the Emperor and the Chariot and the Queen of Imps represents how the Emperor represents how you need to learn to be in control of your own surroundings, right? The Emperor is Aries, which is another fire sign, right? It's Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. In order, clockwise, it's Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But anyway, the Emperor represents how you need to learn how to be in control of your own order, in your own world, out and inner. And the way for you to do that outwardly as well as inwardly is for you to learn to control your own selves. Too many people are too preoccupied with controlling other people when they think they don't necessarily get the outcome that they want, even though that they don't necessarily understand that they just could be psychotic, you know. But the Emperor is it represents, right? They call Leo's the king of the jungle, right? So the Emperor, to get the Emperor is very appropriate for you, or it matches, in the sense that what it does for you is it puts you in a situation where you have to take a long, hard look at what kind of relationships have you been in, and more specifically, the quality of the people whom you've been meeting. And then deciding for yourselves how you're going to interact with people, right? Like whenever it is I interact with any of the people whom I'm flirting with, I like to go one step after the other, right? And when I was younger as a teenager, I wanted to go fast because I didn't necessarily know the game. But now that I know the game theory, It's much more when, you know, I interact with some of the people who I'm interacting with on that level. I'm really trying to see what's going on with them. You understand? Now, the Chariot and the Queen of Imps is about how you're going to get someone. But see, the thing is that you need, what I suggest you do is, I suggest you take, like, again, you take the time some more, again, to not necessarily worry about that. The Ace of Pumpkins and the Fool represents how, if you do take your time, it's going to be a long, it's going to, not a long process, but it'll help save you time, money, and effort compared to what it is, right? Like, I've had people been telling me this type of stuff, this type of information, literally since 2015 when I was in high school. And I was just thinking about that today. Like, I never understood what it is that they was talking about, like, right? Like, you would have some people who come in and talk to us about dating and stuff like this and being a teenager. And I never understood what they was talking about 16 years ago when I was 14, right? But now I understand. Now I understand what it is that I have to do. The situation that I've got going on here is, and what you've got here going on here is, you really want to have some sort of actual discipline. A lot of times you'll have goofballs, right? You'll have goofballs when you talking to them about that type of discipline. They'll act as if, oh, I don't know what it is that you're talking about. Character, actual discipline, as well as emotional discipline is everything. It's you know, like, let's not forget that we have these STIs out here. You understand what I'm saying? Let's not forget that people out here sometimes not mentally stable. And if you're gonna be thinking to yourself that you know everything, all right, but you're playing Russian roulette though. So let's clarify. You know, let's clarify the Fool card. The Fool card, okay, represents, like I said, this person trying to come in. But let's clarify this. So you have the Page of Coins, Knight of Coins. I'm clarifying with Game of Thrones Tarot, and the Hangman. Very interesting. So what's happening here is that the Fool represents, well, the Fool is the most powerful card in the entire tarot, okay? And it represents two situations that is for you Leos simultaneously happening at the same time. It represents someone coming in, someone new coming in, but it also represents how it is that a lot of you Leos need to abstain. You know how Leos sometimes don't like to listen. There are going to be some Leos, I don't want to hear all that, okay? Some of you Leos need to abstain and pay attention to what's going on. Whether this person is even safe enough to be able to get romantic with. Because you trying to throw your hot dog down that hallway, you know what I'm saying? Or you trying to have that hallway meet that hot dog. It's a very dangerous situation, especially if you don't know the person. If that person is even in their right mind, if that person has all types of psychological / emotional issues, you never know. How you'll be able to find out is you have to slow down a little bit, right? In order for you to know. Plus a hint, wink, wink, hint, hint. The bedroom fun becomes more pleasurable when you learn to slow it down and get to know each other. I don't know if people knew that. I just. Well, how do you know that? Don't ask. Stay out my business. Stay out my business. Anyway, so let's clarify the Chariot. Stay out my business. You ain't gotta know all that. Stay out my business. Anyway. To throw the attention off of me, let's clarify the Chariot card. You have the Tower, you have the Death card, and then you have the Seven of Swords, right? So the Tower and the Death both rule Scorpio. You do have the Death card right here as well. So this card came up for you Leos in your reading twice. So this is about how a lot of Scorpio energy shining through, a lot of powerful energy, a lot of powerful decisions, a lot of reshaping or being changed for you Leos. You Leos being changed on a fundamental level, considering the fact that Leo is one of the most actual, with the S, zodiac signs out of 4, which is Scorpio, Leo, Aries, and Gemini. You want to, obviously, Leo, which is what I'm doing here, being one of the most actual zodiac signs, is going to be a situation for you where it will test you, right? So take that in mind. And then you have the 7 of Swords, which represents here that when you become more disciplined in yourself, you're going to find that you're going to have people who don't necessarily respect that discipline. They're going to try to rush in and have things go fast and speed things up. It'll be your job, my Leos, to be able to control that. Let's clarify the Emperor. Let's clarify the Emperor. So you have, to clarify the Emperor, you have the King of Cups, King of Spears, and the 4 of Swords, to clarify the Emperor. So you have 2 kings in a minor arcana. King of Cups and the King of Spears, which are wands. So this is about how it is that you need to start handling your situations. King of Cups, you need to start managing your emotions to where they don't get the better of you, to where you start lashing out because of your shortcomings, right? And the King of Spears. But you need to also be able to see and understand, right, who's really there for you and who's not. And you need a system in way you can see this, right? The 4 of Swords represents how you're gonna have people who are going to come to you in that manner of trying to play games. It's up to you to figure out how it is that you can decipher which is which. Me, I have my own particular system. In particular, I'm not a Leo, I'm a Virgo, but I have my own particular system. And my system is, I just know when people start up the nonsense, it just takes time. When people start up with the nonsense, I know for a fact it's time for me to leave. I mean, there's a difference between idiosyncrasies and there's a difference between red flags. Idiosyncrasies are like minute flaws, quote unquote, is only, you know, it's only has something to do with the person. It's what makes the person unique. But it's not anything that would have you be like, oh, I can't stand this person. Red flags is like you gambling the money away. You being a consistent gambler, a compulsive gambler. You being a chain smoker plus a consistent gambler. You being addicted to dopamine, right? And you can't control the dopamine receptors in your brain as to where you can learn to manage yourself. You know, that level of management. That type of stuff, once I see a person who I'm like trying to get to know can't manage that stuff, they start being emotional, they start hitting below the belt and start talking to me crazy, I'm like, oh yeah, this relationship is over, because you as a grown-up should know better than this. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. Peace. Let's get to 30 likes.